Gambian Foreign Minister called on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus seeks Bangladesh support in pursuing genocide charges against Myanmar. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres arrives in Bangladesh tomorrow on a 4-day official visit. UN Secretary-General and Chief Advisor will have iftar with Rohingya refugees at Cox's Bazar on Friday. Law to be amended to speed up trial of all rape cases, says law advisor. NID services will remain under Election Commission, informs Special Assistant to Chief Advisor. Without MBBS and BDS degree, no one can use doctor before their name, says the High Court. At least 27 terrorists killed while rescuing over 150 train passengers in Pakistan. And Bangladesh's experienced campaigner Mahmudullah announces his retirement from international cricket. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is Upama Shaha with you, welcoming you to the news at 10. You have just heard the headlines, now moving on to the details. The Foreign Minister of the Gambia, Mahmudullah Tangara, called on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House Jamuna in Dhaka today. The Gambian Foreign Minister appraised the Chief Advisor about the genocide case against Myanmar that his country instituted and was pursuing to bring justice for the much persecuted Rohingya Muslims. Professor Muhammad Yunus thanked Gambia for taking up the cause of the Rohingya people and for the African nation's persistent commitment and continued efforts for the successful fruition of the case. Mahmudullah Tangara praised the leadership of Professor Yunus, saying his diplomatic efforts would help the Rohingya people a dignified life. The Chief Advisor also called for deeper trade and cooperation between the two nations. The two leaders also expressed satisfaction at signing an agreement to jointly work in United Nations peacekeeping operations. They also discussed the potential of microcredit to lift millions of people out of poverty in Africa and usher in peace and stability in some of the violence-plagued regions of the continent. High Representative of the Chief Advisor for Rohingya and other key issues, Dr. Khalilur Rahman, and Senior Secretary and the Head of SDG Affairs, Lamia Morshid, were also present during the meeting. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres arrives Dhaka tomorrow on a 4-day visit. This time, he will visit Bangladesh at the invitation of Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. On the second day of the visit, Foreign Advisor Muhammad Tawheed Hussain will meet the Secretary-General of the United Nations. On the same day, Antonio Guterres will hold a meeting with Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. Later, the United Nations Secretary-General will visit Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar with the Chief Advisor. Antonio Guterres will meet the Rohingya people who were forcibly displaced from their homeland in Myanmar. He will have iftar with the Rohingyas. On the third day of his visit, the United Nations Secretary-General is expected to meet UN officials working in Dhaka. In addition, on the same day, Antonio Guterres will exchange views with members of the civil society. He is scheduled to leave Dhaka in the morning on March 16th. Meanwhile, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam has said the UN Secretary-General's visit will focus on increasing assistance for the Rohingya and discussing their safe and dignified repatriation. He said this while briefing reporters at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital today.
রোহিঙ্গাদের জন্য যে হিউম্যানিটারিয়ান যেটা এইড এটা শার্পলি ডিক্লাইন করেছে এবং এই ডিক্লাইনটা কিভাবে অ্যারেস্ট করা যায় এবং আমরা আশা করছি যে তার ভিজিটের মাধ্যমে এইটা এফর্টগুলো রিডাবল হবে মোবিলাইজ এইড ফর দি রোহিঙ্গা পিপল তাদের নিউট্রিশনাল নিডটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আমরা চাই যে তারা যাদের জন্য নিউট্রিশনাল নিডটার জন্য কম্প্রোমাইজ না হয় কোনোভাবে, সেই জন্য ইন্টারন্যাশনাল সাপোর্টটা লাগে। প্রায় $15 মিলিয়ন প্রতি মাসে রোহিঙ্গাদের জন্য দরকার হয়। তো সেটার জন্য আমরা আশা করছি যে এই ভিজিটটা সেই ফোকাসটা নিয়ে আসবে। ইন্টারন্যাশনালি এটা এফার্টসটা রিডাবল হবে, যাতে করে রোহিঙ্গাদের যেই পরিমাণ এড আসে সেটার জন্য কোনো ডিসরাপ্টেড হয় না বা এফেক্টেড না হয়।
The press secretary said the physical condition of the child who was raped in Magura has deteriorated.
মাগুরার যে মেয়েটা,
doctors are trying their best, he added.
কন্ডিশন আরো ডিটোরিয়েট করেছে আজকে। তার সিজিএস মানে কমা লেভেল has come down to 3 from 4. Brain stem and pupil reflex are lower than yesterday. আমাদের ডাক্তাররা সিএমএইচ এর তারা প্রাণান্তর চেষ্টা করছেন। আমরা আপনাদের কাছে আমরা সবাই মিলে প্রার্থনা করি উনি সম্পূর্ণ সুস্থ হন। আমরা সবার কাছে তার জন্য দোয়া চাচ্ছি।
Deputy Press Secretary Azad Mojumdar said Chief Advisor and UN Secretary General will join an iftar party with about 1 lakh Rohingyas in Cox's Bazar on Friday. On behalf of the Chief Advisor, the iftar party is going to be arranged at Rohingya refugee camp, he added.
পররাষ্ট্র উপদেষ্টা ওনাদের সাথে সাক্ষাৎ করবেন, সাক্ষাৎ করে উনি আসলে রোহিঙ্গা ক্যাম্পে চলে যাবেন এবং ওনার সাথে একই প্লেনে কক্সেস বাজার যাবেন আমাদের মাননীয় প্রধান উপদেষ্টা। আর ইউএন সেক্রেটারি জেনারেল উনি কক্সেস বাজার থেকে সরাসরি চলে যাবেন রোহিঙ্গা ক্যাম্পে, রোহিঙ্গাদের সাথে ইফতার করবেন। এই রোহিঙ্গাদের সাথে ইফতারে মাননীয় প্রধান উপদেষ্টা ওনার কক্সেস বাজারের প্রোগ্রাম শেষ করে ওনার সাথে ইফতারে জয়েন করবেন। আমরা আশা করছি মাননীয় প্রধান উপদেষ্টা এবং জাতিসংঘের মহাসচিব এই দুইজনের সাথে 1 লক্ষ রোহিঙ্গা ইফতারে যোগদান করবেন।
A draft has been prepared to amend the law to complete the trial of the culprits in rape cases at the earliest. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advisor Dr. Asif Nuzrul informed these at a press briefing after receiving the 5-point memorandum of the anti-rape platform. Briefing the newsmen, the advisor said that considering the situation, the law is being amended, keeping the obligation to complete the trial of rape cases within the fastest possible time. Highlighting the significant role of the women in student people mass uprising of July-August, Dr. Asif Nozrul informed that zero tolerance is the government's stance against women and child violence. Meanwhile, the whole country became vocal against the rape of children and women after the recent violation of an 8-year-old child in Magura. People from all walks of life, including students, have raised demand to take effective measures for the trial of the rapists immediately. Protesting such brutal torture, students of Dhaka University announces boycotting classes. They also staged demonstration. A Dhaka court today sentenced 3 people to life imprisonment in a case filed over gang raping of a child in the capital's outskirts, Kamrangichor. It also sentenced 2 underage convicts to maximum 10-year imprisonment. Dhaka Women and Children Repression Prevention Tribunal 4-judge Munshi Muhammad Mashir Rahman handed down the verdict. Prosecutor Ershad Alam George confirmed the matter. The convicts are Mohon, son of Jamaluddin, hailed from Faridpur village under Dhunot Upojela of Bogura; Sabbir, son of Muhammad Mizanur, hailed from Mugundagati village of Belkuchi Upozela in Sirajganj; and Russell, son of Kamal Elias Abul Kalam of Chikandi village under Palong Model Police Station in Shoriatpur. The court also fined 1 lakh taka each. In default, they will have to serve another 1-year imprisonment. The responsibility of National Identity Card (NID) will remain under the Election Commission for the meantime. Special Assistant to Chief Advisor Faiz Ahmed Tayeb informed this at a press conference at the ICT Tower in the capital today. It is important to put the task of NID under independent commission. This work will go ahead in phases through discussion with ministry concerned and commission. The International Crimes Tribunal today issued arrest warrant against 5 people, including ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and former Inspector General of Police Benazir Ahmed in a case lodged over the genocide that took place in the capital's Shapla Chottor area on May 5th in 2013. The court also issued arrest warrant against former Home Minister Mohiuddin Khan Alamgir, former IGP Hassan Mahmud Khondokar and Imran H. Sarkar. The 3-member tribunal led by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtuza Mujumdar passed the order allowing a plea of the prosecution. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam and Prosecutor Mizanul Islam argued for the plea of the prosecution, while prosecutors B.M. Sultan Mahmud, Ghazi M.H. Tamim, Muhammad Shahidul Islam, Tariq Abdullah and Sheikh Mahdi were present at that time. The prosecution said 4 more accused, former State Minister for Home Affairs Shamsul Haq Tuku, former IGP Shohidul Haq, Major General sacked Ziaul Ahsan and former police official Mullah Nuzrul Islam have already been arrested and are now behind the bars. Hefazat-e Islam filed a complaint with the Office of the ICT Chief Prosecutor in this connection on November 27th in 2024 against 50 accused, including Sheikh Hasina. A Dhaka court today placed former State Minister for ICT Zunaid Ahmed Polok on a 3-day remand in a murder case filed with Dhanmondi Police Station in the capital. The court also placed banned Bangladesh Chhatro League Central Organizing Secretary Siam Rahman and Anwar Hossain Naim on 4-day remand in the same case. Dhaka Metropolitan Magistrate Aulad Hussain Muhammad Zunayed passed the order as police produced the trial before the court and pleaded to place them on a 5-day remand. Dhaka Metropolitan Session Judges Court Public Prosecutor Omar Farooq Farooqi stood for the petitioner. Apart from this, former lawmaker Sulaiman Selim and former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal's son Safi Mudassir Khan Jyoti have been placed on 3-day remand in separate cases. On the other hand, former Secretary Mohibul Haq and former Mayor Atikul Islam and former Prime Minister's Private Industries and Investment Advisor Salman F. Rahman have been shown arrested in 2 separate cases filed with Dhanmondi and Vatara police stations respectively. The High Court today ruled that only MBBS or BDS degree holders can use a doctor title before their name. The bench of Justice Raziq Al-Jalil and Justice Shatika Hussain passed this order after hearing a writ petition. The court, however, said no steps will be taken against those who have already used the title. It also warned that if anyone breaks the law and uses doctor before their names without MBBS or BDS degree will be punished from 13th of March. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Muhammad Mahfuz Alam urged the officials to make the service of Bangladesh better, up to date and time befitting for the young generation. He made the call while exchanging views with the officials of Bangladesh Betar today. Later, the advisor went round different sections of Betar. At this time, Director General of Bangladesh Betar ASM Zahid and high officials of the organization were present. Afterwards, the Information and Broadcasting Advisor visited Press Institute of Bangladesh PIB and exchanged views with the officials and employees there. The advisor gave suggestions as to how to work with the academic institutions as well as upgrading quality of journalists side by side conducting research. PIB Director General Farooq Wasif and other officials were present at this time. Now the timing for Sehri tonight and Thursday Iftar for Dhaka and its adjoining areas. Last time for Sehri 4:53 a.m. and Thursday's iftar at 6:07 p.m. in Dhaka and its adjoining areas.
মা ক্ষুধা লাগছে খাইতে দাও টেবিলে খাবার রাখা আছে খায় নে মা আমি এই খাবার খাবো না কেন তাইলে গন্ধ হইব কেন
কি হইছে লক্ষ্মী মায়ের ধমকাইতেছো কেন
লক্ষ্মী না চাই প্রত্যেক বেলা খাবার নিয়ে ঝামেলা করে কথাটা ঠিক না আমি কইছি পচাবাসি খাবার আমি খাবো না ভাইজান কি করমু কও প্রত্যেক বেলা নতুন নতুন রান্নার সময় কই তাই এক বেলা রাঁধি দুই বেলা খাই
একবার রান্না করে দুই বেলা খাইতেই পারো কিন্তু রান্না করা খাবার ভালোভাবে সংরক্ষণ করে খাইতে হইবে
সেটা আবার কেমনে
রান্না করা খাবার স্বাভাবিক তাপমাত্রায় 2 ঘন্টার বেশি রাখা যাইবো না 2 ঘন্টার বেশি রান্না করা খাবার খাওয়ার আগে আবার ভালো কইরা গরম করে নিতে হইব
মামা তুমি মাইরে কও তোমার পরামর্শ মাইনা চলতে ঠিক আছে রে মা আর কইতে হইব না
পচাবাসি খাবার খেলে অসুখ হবে সবাই বলে সুস্থ দেহ যদি চাই টাটকা খাবার সদাই খাই
Now international news. Pakistan security sources said today they had freed 155 hostages from around 450 passengers while killing 27 militants as a Pakistani train siege in restive Balochistan province entered a second day. The operation was still ongoing, said a security personnel to the newsman. On Tuesday, armed militants in Pakistan-Balochistan region have attacked a train carrying more than 400 passengers and taken a number of them hostage. The Baloch Liberation Army BLA fired at the Jafar Express train as it travelled from Quetta to Peshawar. The separatist group said it had bombed the track before storming the train in the remote Sibi district, claiming the train was under its control. Among those released are 17 injured passengers who have been hospitalized for the treatment. The militants had threatened to kill hostages if authorities did not release Baloch political prisoners within 48 hours, according to local reports. The rescue operation is ongoing. There were reports of intense firing at the train, a Balochistan government spokesman told local newspaper Dawn. A senior official said it remained stuck just before a tunnel surrounded by mountains. A senior army official confirmed the newsman that there were more than 500 army personnel traveling from Quetta on the train. The Pakistani authorities, as well as several Western countries, including the UK and US, have designated the BLA as a terrorist organization. It has waged a decades-long insurgency to gain independence and has launched numerous deadly attacks, often targeting police stations, railway lines and highways. Balochistan is Pakistan's largest province and the richest in terms of natural resources, but it is the least developed. Ukraine endorsed an American proposal for a 30-day ceasefire and agreed to immediate negotiations with Russia in crunch talks in Jeddah on Tuesday after 3 years of grinding war. The positive response from Ukraine prompted President Donald Trump's administration to lift a freeze on military aid and to predict the beginning of an end of the conflict. With Trump stunning allies by applying intense pressure on Kyiv and reaching out to Moscow, Ukrainian officials came to talks in Saudi Arabia, eager to make up and had proposed a partial truce on air and sea attacks. Trump's advisor pressed for more and said Ukraine agreed to their proposal for a full month-long ceasefire in a war that has claimed tens of thousands of lives. Rubio said the United States would immediately resume military assistance and intelligence sharing it had cut off to pressure its wartime partner following a disastrous February 28th meeting between Trump and President Volodymyr Zelensky. In Washington, Trump said he was ready to welcome Zelensky back to the White House and may speak to President Vladimir Putin this week. A committee formed by Syria's new authorities to investigate a wave of deadly violence said on Tuesday the country was determined to prevent unlawful revenge. A wave of violence broke out last Thursday, mainly in the Mediterranean heartland of the Alawite minority, the deadliest since longtime strongman Bashar al-Assad was ousted in December. Security forces and allied groups have killed at least 1,225 civilians since Thursday, according to Syrian Observatory for Human Rights War Monitor. The UN Human Rights Office said it had documented summary executions that appeared to have been carried out on a sectarian basis. In a number of extremely disturbing instances, entire families, including women, children and individuals, hors combat were killed, with predominantly Alawite cities and villages targeted in particular, it said. At a press conference in Damascus, committee spokesman Yasser Al-Farhan said, "The new Syria is determined to enshrine justice and the rule of law, protect the rights and freedoms of its citizens, prevent unlawful revenge, and guarantee that there is no impunity." Farhan said the committee was working on gathering and reviewing evidence related to the wave of violence. The United States broadens its slate of tariffs today as sweeping levies on steel and aluminum imports took effect with no exceptions or exemptions as promised by the White House, despite countries' efforts to avert them. President Donald Trump's 25% duties on both metals will likely add to the cost of producing anything from home appliances to automobiles and cans used for drinks, threatening to raise consumer prices down the road. President Trump has imposed steep tariffs on major U.S. trading partners, Canada, Mexico and China, since returning to office, allowing only a partial rollback for his country's neighbors while vowing fresh levies from April 2nd. The latest duties will again impact Canada heavily, with the country supplying some 50% of U.S. aluminum imports and 20% of its steel imports, according to a recent note by EY chief economist Gregory Dacre. Besides Canada, Brazil and Mexico are also key U.S. suppliers of steel, while the United Arab Emirates and South Korea are among providers of aluminum. Iran, Russia and China have begun joint naval drills in the Gulf of Oman, marking the fifth year of the three countries have conducted military drills together. China's CGTN News said that the Marine Security Belt 2025 exercises began near the Iranian port of Chabahar on Tuesday and were aimed at strengthening cooperation among the naval forces of the participating countries. The naval drills will involve striking maritime targets, damage control and joint search and rescue operations. Over the course of 2 days, the ship's crews conducted daytime and nighttime fire from large caliber machine guns and small arms at targets, simulating unmanned boats and unmanned aerial vehicles of a mock enemy, Russia's Interfax news agency reported, citing a statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense. Iran's press TV said naval groups from Azerbaijan, South Africa, Oman, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Qatar, Iraq, the United Arab Emirates and Sri Lanka were also observing the drills. Although China and Russia do not typically patrol waters in the Middle East, the region's waterways have become increasingly militarized in recent years. Now, news and sports. Bangladesh's experienced campaigner Mahmudullah announced his retirement from international cricket. He made the announcement on his social media platforms tonight. The cricketer recently represented the Bangladesh team at the 2025 ICC Champions Trophy in Pakistan. Mahmudullah, who turned 39 last month, had already retired from Tests in 2021 and T20 in 2024. Mahmudullah finishes as Bangladesh's fourth highest run scorer behind Mushfiqur Rahim, Shakib Al Hassan and Tamim Iqbal with 5,689 runs at an average of 36.46, including 400s and 32 50s. His retirement comes a week after Mushfiqur, his longtime teammate and brother-in-law, had also retired from ODIs. The 39-year-old is the only Bangladeshi player to have hit 3 centuries in ODI World Cups, with 2 of them coming in the 2015 edition and 1 in 2023. The veteran represented Bangladesh in 239 ODIs, 50 tests and 141 T20s. The cricketer also aggregated 11,047 runs for Bangladesh across all international formats. Mahmudullah made his international debut with an ODI with a match against Sri Lanka in Colombo in July 2007. Mohammedan Sporting Club, Abahuni Limited, Legends of Rupganj have won their respective matches in the Dhaka Premier Division Cricket League today. Tamim Iqbal's century helped Mohammedan Sporting Club to beat Brothers Union by 9 wickets at BKSP Ground 3. Batting first, Brothers Union were bowled out for 187 in 48 overs, 4 balls. In reply, Mohammedan Sporting Club scored the winning 191 runs in 32 overs and 5 balls for just 1 wicket. Captain Tamim Iqbal scored an unbeaten 105 and Mahmudul Islam Ankon scored an unbeaten 75 runs. Abahuni Limited beat Partek Sporting Club by 8 wickets at the Sher-e-Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Mirpur. Batting first, Partek Sporting Club were all out for 100 runs in 33 overs, 1 ball. In reply, Abahuni Limited scored 101 runs for 2 wickets in 14 overs, 3 balls. Legends of Rupganj defeated Prime Bank Cricket Club by 8 wickets at BKSP Ground 4. Batting first, Prime Bank Cricket Club were bowled out for 152 runs in 29 overs, 5 balls. In reply, Legends of Rupganj scored 154 runs for 2 in 23 overs, 2 balls. Tanzit Hazan Tamim scored 68 runs, while Shomo Sharkar was unbeaten on 50 runs. French champions Paris Saint-Germain ended English Premier League leader Liverpool's Champions League campaign with a 4-1 shootout victory Tuesday. The win sent PSG through the quarter-finals. Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Inter Milan also secured last 8 slots. Dembele's 12th-minute strike took the match to shootout, where PSG keeper Donnarumma denied Darwin Núñez and Curtis Jones. Spanish giants Barcelona rode on the attacking instincts of Brazilian winger Rafinha and teenage wonder Lamine Yamal to power past Benfica of Portugal. Rafinha scored a brace off and Yamal struck the other in the 3-1 victory. Bayern Munich reigned in all-German clash, beating Bayer Leverkusen 2-0, with English forward Harry Kane scoring the first and Alphonso Davies netting the other. Inter Milan edged past Feyenoord Rotterdam 2-1, with Marcus Thuram scoring against Dutch outfit. Jakub Moder reduced the margin, but Turkish midfielder Hakan Çalhanoğlu scored off a penalty to shoot the Milanese outfit in the last 8. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Gambian Foreign Minister called on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus seeks Bangladesh support in pursuing genocide charges against Myanmar. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres arrives in Bangladesh tomorrow on a 4-day official visit. UN Secretary General and Chief Advisor will have iftar with Rohingya refugees at Cox's Bazar on Friday. Law to be amended to speed up trial of all rape cases, says law advisor. NID services will remain under Election Commission, informs Special Assistant to Chief Advisor. Without MBBS and BDS degree, no one can use doctor before their name, says the High Court. At least 27 terrorists killed while rescuing over 150 train passengers in Pakistan. And Bangladesh's experienced campaigner Mahmudullah announces his retirement from international cricket. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. And